Hello, my name is Alberto. I'm one of the owners of Cabinet Bits, and I'm here today to give you a hand or assemble one of our items. In this case, the B109, which is a 6-drawer, chest of drawers. We are assembling the white one today, but it would apply to any of the other colors, of course. Assembly is pretty straightforward, and of course, looking at instructions, it always seems a bit difficult, but you will see that there is nothing strange or difficult about it. So let's start. So what you're going to find in the pack is pretty much every part that you needed, of course. You're going to find a little box with all the little screws and dowels and handles on it. So that box is going to be inside the main box. Assembly instructions, it comes on a few pages. Here I just printed one just to follow the number of the parts. You're going to find 6 drawers. Here on the table we only got one because I pre-assembled the other 5 for the sake of the speed on this video. So drawer front, drawer base, 2 drawer sides. The drawer sides would have a little groove on the side, and they are interchangeable, so they can go left or right, it doesn't really matter. Drawer back, you will find 12 runners, which is these little pieces, which is where the drawer runs on. 2 side panels, left and right. Back panels, 2 of them. I'll put them on the floor because we will need the space. Top, which is the biggest part on the box. 2 sides again, left and right. They will be just on one side, so there is no way of getting it wrong. Left is only left and right is only right. Again, I'm going to put them on the floor because we will need some space on the table. One thing is quite important. It's always nice to assemble the item on top of a clean surface. I like to do it on top of a table because it's easier to handle. I usually put a piece of blanket, which is nice and soft, doesn't get anything scratched. So, well, let's get on with it. So, first thing that I like to do is to get rid of the small parts. Just make sure that we assemble small parts and add all the dowels to any little holes. So here we got all the crossbars and uprights, which are parts number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. First thing that I like to do is just add the dowels to all of the ends. Just kind of eliminates all these little bits everywhere. So we got all these little dowels. There we go. Turn them around. Same thing on the other side. It's to each end. They will be a little bit loose sometimes, but this is just a guide. It's not much of a structural thing. It's mostly as a guide to show you, just to make sure that things are assembled in the right place. Right, so you will see that these parts, which some of them can be quite confusing because they are very similar in size and color, they will be numbered. For example, this is number 6, number 4, 7, 5, and 8. So first thing here on our assembly is putting together parts 4, 7, and 6, which is the front of the frame. So here we go, 4, 7, and 6. Number 6, which is at the bottom, so that one goes that way. You see there will be holes in here. Number 7 is the upright. This one, it will be an up and right, up and bottom, but there is a little stamp saying up. So the up, of course, go on the up, so number 7 down. Always making sure that the painted is on the inside, well, unfinished is on the inside, and of course the painted is on the outside. Put it flat, makes it a lot easier, so we know that that's the bottom part, and this is the top part. Again, 2 holes in there, finish in there. Done. So here we got parts number 6, 7, and 4. 4 being the top. So once assembled, it's going to be up. Let's just put a couple of screws. He holds it, and then I can demonstrate. So simple. I'm using again for the sake of speed power drill, but all can be done with a simple screwdriver and a hammer. That's all you need to assemble it. For us, speed is a thing, so we are doing with the power drill. So that's it, that's the front frame. So we got in here, make sure it's nice and tidy. Let's give it another tidy here. There we go, that's better. Nice and tight, nice and flush. So this will be the front frame. of the chest. So that's the front. Let's do the back. Oops, lost one in there. Oops, put them back. Right. So here we go. The back frame, which is part number 5, which goes at the bottom. This would be number 5. 2 little holes in there. And number 8. Again, there will be a little up side. So up that way. Right. Here we go. Keep it nice and tidy. So there you go in there. So that's the frame, front and back. So what we need to do now is attach them to the side panels. So side panels, just choose one, either side. This will be the front, and this will be the back. And the difference is that there is a little groove on the back, which the side panel, the back panel goes in. So front panel, so this will be part number 3, looking at the item from the front. So it's the right hand side. Again, so this in the front, we are gonna touch. This is nice and tight. Yep. So here we are gonna touch parts number 3, 6 and 4, which is this 6 and 4. Number 4, which is the top one, we will have a couple of screws, couple of holes for the screwing up to the top. So this one will be the top one. Let me just get this right. There. So we got our dowels in there. One fell off. So there we go. Put it in there. What's going on in here? Oh, we know what's going in here. It was pre-assembled. One of the dowels broken, but this is not a problem. Very easy solution. Put a lid and just pull them out. If that happens, not a big problem. Okay, start again. There we go. Back in business. Again, a couple of screws. For these, you use the 40mm screws to touch all the frame. There we go. Now we got the back frame. Again, we know numbers 8 and 5. So number 5 goes at the bottom. Here you see that you got the screw holes. I like to put them always on the inside, just in case the screw head sticks out a little bit. So in this case, it will be like that. So on the inside, I'm not sure if you can see, let me just turn this around. There we go. So once that is done, what we need to do is put the left panel on it. Let's just make sure that all the dowels are there. A couple of them fell off. One in there. Nice there. Just feed it in, just try to move as little as possible to avoid breaking the dowels. Got another little case in here. Let me just put this one. There we go. There. What's happening in it? I'll just look. It's just quite big. There. Now, screws, 3 screws, just like on the other side. Just make sure everything is nice and tight. Right, so now we got our frame. Assemble. What we need to do now is to put a top on it. Just put it aside for a second, bring the top facing down, just clear the table, make sure we don't have anything to scratch. So that's our top. The top again will be front and back. The front will be that, which is nicely finished. And on the back, again, just like the side frames, it does have a groove for the back. So here we go. In this case, we're gonna put the little dowels on here. So we got 4 dowels, 1 each corner, and 2 for the back. So there is only one way to go. This is a big part, so just try to handle it carefully. It's not heavy, it's just a frame. So we're gonna have to get those dowels on the little holes. There you go. So we got the whole frame placed in position. All we need to do is screw the parts down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, all 40 mil. One in there, one in there, one attaching there. Nice and firm. One either side. If you're doing this with a machine, always important to think that not go too hard on it, just in case the screw bites and it takes you through all the way. But if you do by hand, that's almost impossible to happen. There you go. Now we got the whole frame. You're looking from the back, of course. All we need to do is put the runners on. The runners, which are these. Put the runners on either side. So we're gonna have 12 of them. They all use the same screws, which is the smaller screw on the back. 30mm screws. So just choose a side. They are exactly the same. To attach them, there will be pilot holes on either side. You will see tiny little holes, the marks. So just follow the holes to attach the runners. Here we go. This is one of the time-consuming ones, but you shouldn't have any problem with it. I always like to attach the first ones first, the front one, because it will be acting as a stopper for the drawer. So usually best they start on the front. So front and there. All the little holes. Just make sure they're nice and tight. And the same thing on the other side. On my right hand side, so this is a bit complicated for me, but here we go. Don't need to tighten them too hard, or avoid breakages or something like that. As they are tight, you'll be alright. You don't need to push it too hard. Next done. Next side. And the hole. Just 3 more. And the last one. Just on the wrong side. There we go. Right, so that's all our runners on. All we need to do at the moment now is next step, back panel. I like to put this always the edge of the front over the table, but then we got a nice and flush sides. It makes it more sturdy to nail. So back panels, we got 2 of them. On this case, they go horizontal. You would find that one of them has a little hole. That little hole is for the anti-tipping. Some people, you know, if you have children at home, you might want to use it. It's just a requirement by law. So, and of course, another safety standard. So a little hole goes in there. You find inside the kit a little bracket you can just attach to the wall. So in this case, we go horizontal like that. It should be nice and enough. Just make sure that they are now fitted in on both sides, like that. And most important, that that is square. It must be nice and square, because this is what's going to give it, the item, this stability. Until the back panel is on, it's going to be a bit wobbly, but once the back panel is on, you should be all right. So for the attachment of this, little tacks, little nails, they come on the pack. And just a few on the top. Simple hammer, any hammer will do. I like to use a small one for better control on small nails like this. Or any hammer will do. So on the top, I'm gonna put 3 either side, so 6 in total. That should be more than enough. Of course, we got a bar running in the middle, so we can put a few screws little layers in the middle as well. Just trying to find them out. Maybe 3. This should be more than enough. And then the sides. Again, 3 each end. 1 top, 1 on the top. Oops. And in the middle. Same on the other side. Same on the next panel. Ideally, this is a job for 2 people to move the item around. It can be quite heavy towards the end. Not just the weight, it's more of a bulky thing. So for somebody else out, it's always good. In this case, easily handled here. So we put 3 in the middle as well. Just to feel at the bottom. Again, 3 either end. That's it. So that is our frame assembled. Just turn it around. This is the moment that an extra pair of hands will help. There you go. So we got the whole frame totally assembled. All we need to do now are the drawers. I have done 5 of them pre-assembled for the sake of the speed, but we'll show you how to assemble the last one. And then we fit them in. We'll leave that aside for a second. So here we got drawer front, 2 drawer sides, drawer back and drawer base. Best way of doing this is literally putting the drawer front flat, fitting the base panel, just putting the side panels on. Again, they are interchangeable, so they don't have left and right, they can go either side. It will have a groove, so you just cannot miss it. Fit back, and then hold it tight and just turn it around. I turn it around because it's a lot easier to screw down than screwing on its side. The screw from the side is going to be all wobbly, like this. Once you screw, it's going to be nice and firm. Just make sure that you hold it in tight. It's not going to go anywhere. Again, small screws, same ones that we use for the runners. Important here is to always keep flush. Just choose an end. I usually get the bottom end of the panel. Just make sure that everything is nice and flush, is nice and straight in there. So here we are, in these cases, straight on. Another thing here on the front end of it, always nice to give it a bit of an angle to make sure. So just keep it in a bit of an angle towards the drawer front, that way. Sometimes if you don't do that, if you go the other way, it might come out on the end here. So just give it a bit of an angle towards the front. You should be fine. In this case, we've got 4 screws each end. Again, nice and flush. Square at the bottom. Go straight down on the back. Should be fine again. Right, we done one side, so again, keep it tight and just spin it around. Another 4 screws. Again, nice and flush, the bottom, square, give it an angle on the front. On the 4. So the box is assembled. All we need to do now is to put the handle on. Again, in this case, we got 2 bolts. Just go from the inside and the handle. Let me just stand this up. Make sure you fit. Just get the thread in one side. Find the thread in the other. There's the drawer assembled. You will find that there are 2 holes either end on the sides. Those little holes are the drawer stoppers, which we simply use a couple of dowels. So if you just insert the dowel from the inside, just keep it flush, don't go all the way. So just keep it flush on the outside. And I'll show you how it would work. Let me just turn this around. Fit the drawer in. And once you fit the drawer in, if you just leave without the stopper, the drawer of course will come out. But if you fit the drawer in and just push them in a little bit, don't have to be all the way, because you're never gonna get them out. And then it would act as a stopper, you see, it just catches on the frame. So that's one of the drawers. And the other ones magically have been assembled prior to the video. Just fit them in. I have to go. Let me just turn this around and reach. Let me just change. I'm just on the wrong side. Let me just turn this around. Then I can reach. Sorry. That is the chest assembled. Let me just turn it around. So that's your 6-drawer chest assembled. If you have any issues with the gaps around the frame and between the drawers, if they need to go up and down, is not a problem at all. The runners are very forgiving, and I'll just show you what needs to be done. Let's say that this drawer needs to go down a couple of mil. Just pull it out. Unscrew just the front end of the runner. Just take the screw out, just move the little runner, just the front, don't worry about the back. Just up and down as much as you need it to, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, and put the screw back in. Of course, the screw is going to tend to go on the previous hole, but just give it a bit of an angle, up or down, just choose an angle, and the screw will find itself a new path. And you should be up and running. So put the drawer back on. Once that's done, the the gaps are happy with you, everything is fine, that's the end of the chest. The chest is finished, ready to be used. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please buy more of our products. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.